Pat Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
Hey, welcome to it. Great to have you with us. 888-900-3393. Pat Unleashed on Twitter. Mentioned this on Glenn's show yesterday, but since we talked about it here as well, should make a little correction that this woman who claimed to have sued her parents after they gave birth to her without her consent, that was a hoax. Yeah, she was kidding.
She's a good actress.
Really good. She had me fooled. And, you know, how are you supposed to know that? As weird as the world is right now, how are you supposed to know that? But she said she thought it was obvious. No. No.
I guess on her profile, did it say satire? Something like that, maybe?
Oh, did it?
Yeah, I think so.
Ah.
Yeah.
She's a satirical TikTok creator. Claims she'd sued her parents after they give birth to her without her permission.
Anything's believable these days, though. Anything is believable.
It is.
I mean, the only red flag,
is.
for me on that was I just couldn't find the judge's name, because that wouldn't.
Where she supposedly won the $5,000 a month. Yeah. Okay.
So
anyway,
whatever.
She was kidding. Meanwhile, sadly, we're not kidding. The mayor of Miami just jumped into the presidential race.
Oh, what's his name?
Francis Suarez.
Suarez Mintum.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go.
So that makes 11 major candidates. Even more than that, of course. I mean, there's hundreds, but there are 11 that somebody has heard about and, that have some sort of standing somewhere.
And he's the mayor of Miami, is that right?
Yep. Okay. Republican mayor of Miami. And I guess he and DeSantis don't get along well.
Oh.
So maybe it's another attack dog against Ron DeSantis. There seems to be several of them in the race. Sadly, one of them's Vivek Ramaswamy, and now we got this Francis Suarez guy. So we'll see how this goes. But now you got Donald Trump, Ron DeSantis, Nikki Haley, Vivek Ramaswamy, Asa Hutchinson, Larry Elder, Mike Pence, Tim Scott, Chris Christie, Doug Burgum, and Francis Suarez. Exciting field.
Wait, I'm sorry, Chris. Why do you have Doug Burgum on the bottom row? I mean, he is.
As strong as the Burgumentum is,
right?
You should
Come
be on
on
the
now.
Top. Yeah, you should be on the top toward the front.
And when you say Asa's name, you got to say, as we saw his logo the other day, it's Asa for America.
For America. Man. All right. Let's get into what happened Tuesday night. The Biden administration kicked off their Juneteenth
I didn't
celebrations.
Get to watch this live.
It's exciting.
Sad.
They were exciting. And here's how Kamala Harris got things started the other night. Okay. She's great.
Happy Juneteenth. Please have a seat. Please have a seat.
Okay.
Hey, watch this. She just can't stop laughing. Like she is.
What are you laughing at?
She's got to be high constantly. Constantly.
Seriously, what's funny here?
Family.
The Divine Nine family?
Oh, the Divine Nine family was in attendance.
Yeah.
Good evening, everyone.
Please stop laughing.
What is so funny there? Just weird. She's just very,
She's
very
high
strange.
on life, Pat.
That's what it is. No wonder. And Ashley Biden introduced Joe and said this.
Okay.
America, you are so lucky to have him as your president. I don't know anybody who really, truly works harder for you, for the American people.
Please stop working for us. Please. You are killing us by working for us like this.
Is that Joe's shower mate? Is that the same?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. She was.
Okay.
And maybe still is. I don't know.
Anything past
I
that
don't want to
family.
know. I don't want to know. I mean, unbelievable. Here's a girl whose diary talks about potential abuse from this guy. And now you're trying to shop him to America? No, thank you. No, thank you. Then Joe proceeded to tell us what his mission for the United States is.
To honor the true meaning of Juneteenth, our entire administration is continuing to charge forward to literally redeem the soul of America.
Oh.
To literally redeem the soul of America?
Literally, he says.
Yeah, that's what he said. Wow. Okay, so now Joe Biden is the redeemer?
There you go. He thinks he is.
He thinks he is. That's a little bit of a stretch for him.
What's the weather like above the White House today?
Jeez. I'd say there's a good chance of lightning with intermittent fire and brimstone coming down. Let's play a game, though. Guess the broken record line from Joe Biden line.
Oh, yeah. This
all right.
fun.
Okay. This is always a fun game.
And the press has heard me say this before,
Pause it, Joe. Okay.
So what's he going to...
Yeah, so I want to see, do you have a prediction? The press is going to... What did he say? I don't know. But I want you to guess. You want to predict what line he's going to use here?
Is this don't jump? Darn it!
No.
It's not don't jump.
You're not a winner today.
I was
but
hoping
we have
for
a parting
don't
gift.
Jump. All right.
Okay, let's see.
Here it is.
before, so I apologize for the repetition.
Don't jump.
You know,
It would work.
allegedly met more face-to-face with Xi Jinping.
Xi
than any
Jinping,
world
okay.
leaders. They keep, as you
Darn
guys
it.
were in the
17,000 miles?
intelligence side, you know, they keep
Hit us.
meticulous hours and times.
17,000
I
miles.
think we're up to 85 hours, just he and I.
Wait.
68 of them alone
Wait for
over
it.
a 10-year period, because when he was vice president
Well, yeah.
and Barack was
Takes a while to
president,
work
he
out
knew
bribes.
who was going to succeed, but it wasn't appropriate for the president to be with him a lot. So we travel 17 to 18,000 miles together
18,000 miles
in China
together.
and the United
Oh,
States.
my gosh.
And had a lot of just
Shut up,
one-on-one
old man.
conversations.
Just shut up. Ugh.
He's still pushing it.
So, this has been debunked. And I didn't even bother you with a montage of all the times that he's used that line. But, I did the math. If it's 85 hours and it's 17 or 18,000 miles, it's like 221 miles per hour, right? So is he just flying all over the world with him? Is that what he's doing?
Yeah, I guess so. I guess.
He thinks that has an impact.
Yeah, why?
What is that?
Is that continually cited? Why would I give a rat's ass if you're with Xi Jinping for 17,000 miles or 18 hours or 80 hours or 85 hours, whatever it is? I don't care. Does anybody care? I doubt it.
I want this man on trial for all of the bribes that he's taken,
yeah,
and I want the evidence to come out and say, all right, by your own admission, you have spent 18,000 miles traveled with the leader of China, and I want us to find out the bribes that they've been working out, because you got to use a translator. So that doubles the time right there.
Yeah.
And okay, do you want to play this game again? Now this next one of what did I call it? A broken record, Joe. All right, so this next line he's only started to use recently.
Oh.
But
okay, so it's not don't jump.
Yeah, and it's factually inaccurate, of course, because it's Joe Biden.
Right.
But here we go.
Our investments in Africa, for example, there are going to be 1 billion people in Africa very shortly.
He did it again.
2009, they hit 1 billion people, bro.
He did it again. Nobody corrects him, or do they correct him?
Probably
and he just can't retain the knowledge, or he loves the fact so much that isn't a fact that he says it anyway.
He sucks so bad.
Joe, are you telling me that nobody goes up to the president of the United States and says to him, Mr. President, Africa hit 1 billion people 14 years ago?
Maybe that's where his brain just, went off the rails.
God, I can't believe it. It is astounding to me how bad this guy is on everything.
I know.
I can't believe you said it again. Why? First of all, who gives a rat's anus if there are 1 billion people or 12 billion? I don't care. He's saying that's a problem, though. It's problematic that there are 1 billion people in Africa for some reason. Mm-hmm. Why? Because they're so backward. They don't. It's a continent that is peopled with undesirables, and we don't want 1 billion of them. What are you saying? What is it that you're saying about that? Why would we care? Wow.
So you know how
unbelievable.
We try to find
Unreal.
something good to say about everybody, right? I mean, for me and Bill Clinton, it's his D-Day speech on the 50th anniversary. It's fabulous. Every kid should watch it. Every adult should watch it. It really is well done. For Obama, I mean, we had to stretch, right? But it's his singing for that 5 seconds. We had it for 5 seconds. Oh, that was good, right?
Yeah, we found something.
There's absolutely nothing about this man, Joe Biden.
No.
That I'm like, oh, you know what?
No.
That was a really good moment
Right.
when he... When he sniffed the little girl, when he touched the women's breasts. I mean, when is that moment with Joe Biden that we can be like, all right, that was a good moment for the president?
When he lied through his teeth, when he opens his mouth, and he falls up the stairs and falls off his bike and falls off a stage. I mean, is there anything that you could like about this guy? I haven't found it. If there is, haven't found it.
There's still time, Pat.
Yeah,
There's still
there is.
time. We'll get there. We'll get something from him.
Right. How about this one that he started to use lately, too? Is there another one?
No, we
Or
don't
was
have any more.
That
That's
was the
it.
one?
That's it. Yeah, just a couple.
I was
from
hoping there was
yesterday.
another
Were you?
repeat line. Yeah, that would be so great.
I'm honest.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
So yesterday in Congress, Democrat Representative Jerry Nadler still pushing vaccines and masks.
These
Got that going for us.
These people suck.
It protects against transmission of the disease
The vax.
to the next person. And the healthcare worker certainly ought to be required to be vaccinated. And when we have a pandemic, like COVID-19 pandemic that we had, 2-year-olds should have been required to wear masks. It would be child abuse for parents not to do that because there was no vaccination available for 2-year-olds.
My gosh.
Go change your diaper,
my
Jerry.
gosh.
I can't.
Representative Chip Roy responded.
Roy. Well, I'm tempted to yield all my time to the gentleman from New York because he's basically making the case for me more effectively than I can. The gentleman from New York is basically acknowledging everything that I'm sitting here saying that I'm trying to do to protect the American people from the tyrannical state of the executive branch. But in this case, my Democratic colleagues on the other side of the aisle. I want everybody in America to understand what they just heard from the ranking member of the House Judiciary Committee in the United States House of Representatives. Your 2-year-old should be forced to be masked. That is what the ranking member of the House Judiciary Committee just said here on the floor of the House of Representatives, that the power of the government, the full power of the federal government,
And it's abuse if
should
you
be
don't.
a part of ensuring and forcing your children, your 2-year-old child, to be masked. We heard it yesterday when the Secretary of HHS refused to actually answer that question. So I'm really glad to hear that the ranking member of the House Judiciary Committee acknowledges what everybody in America understands, which is that the Democratic Party, led by the president and by my Democratic colleagues in the House and the Senate, are fully comfortable with the power of the government being used to shut down your businesses, force you out of work, unless you take an experimental vaccine that has not been proven to actually do what the gentleman just said, which is with respect to transmissions. More importantly, my father, who's 80 years old, is dealing with the ravages of polio. I firmly understand the importance of vaccines, and I'm proud that my children and I have been able to be protected by those vaccines, fully tested after years of testing. But to say that this politicized vaccine should have been used to shut down the economy and to kill the ability of my constituents to be able to go out about their lives and to force children into the corner wearing masks to get set back years in their education, that is precisely why this amendment matters. It is precisely why we're here reining in the federal government.
Yeah.
So Chip Roy's father has polio? Where did that come from? You never hear of that anymore. Polio was essentially eradicated. Certainly from this country and mostly from the planet. Wow.
So if he's 80 years old, born in 43. When the polio vaccine came around, about the 50s,
Like,
right?
yeah, 50s.
So, Oh, yeah, look at that. I just Googled it. In late November 1949, Roy's father contracted spinal and...
Oh, so it was a long time ago.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
contracted polio. Yeah. My brother had it from the vaccine. He got polio from the vaccine. So, yeah. It can happen. It can happen.
I want you to imagine a scenario where the Republicans nominate Donald Trump, which is completely plausible, and the Democrats somehow somehow, some way, RFK Jr. makes it through the rigged Democrat primary, and they don't Bernie Sanders him the way they did back in 2016.
Oh, they'll
Hillary.
do everything they can to keep him out.
But that vaccine, that COVID vaccine, is going to take center stage during a debate if it's those two.
Yeah, that'd be interesting, wouldn't it?
Sure will be.
Really, the founder of the vaccine versus...
He's still taking credit. I mean, he's still
he
proud
loves
of it.
Right.
He's
extremely proud of it.
And you've got one of the leading voices in America against the COVID-19 vaccine. That
That'd
could
be an interesting battle.
A very interesting topic in 2024.
No doubt. Love to see that debate. Let me tell you about a new product coming from Jace Medical. The same company that brings you the Jace case with all the antibiotics. It's called Jace Daily, and it's a prescription supply service that allows you to get up to a 12-month backup supply of your prescription medication in case of emergency. Wow, what a great idea. This will cover a whole bunch of medications like cholesterol, diabetes, heart health, blood pressure, mental health, and lots more. It's absolutely the ultimate must-buy in family preparedness. Your order is reviewed by a certified healthcare professional, delivered right to your door. So Sean Rowland, who founded Jace Case, explained that being prepared medically is much more than just having access to antibiotics, especially when you learn that all of your medications are produced overseas. He said the peace of mind gained by having this kind of long-term supply of your vital medications can't be overstated. So true. For your sake and for your family's sake, you need to be prepared. Go to jacemedical.com, enter the promo code PAT at checkout, get a discount on your order. That's promo code PAT at Jace Medical, Jase medical.com.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.
I was reading something from a guy named Brandon Weichert. You familiar with Brandon Weichert?
I don't know that I am.
Wrote an article about Biden's love for Ukraine and how he went from dove to hawk on Ukraine so quickly. And speculates that, wonder if there's a reason for that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I wonder if he's being blackmailed.
What?
By Ukraine.
Impossible.
What an interesting question. Is Joe Biden being blackmailed? And that's why we deliver either hundreds of millions or even billions almost weekly to Ukraine.
I think it's something that this show has alluded to on more than one occasion.
That could have anything to do with it.
Quite a possibility. Whether it's
nice to
not
see
only
that.
the Biden family or this nation. Both are being blackmailed, and he's the current.
Yep.
I don't want to say it.
Yep.
Head of the government. I mean, biolabs, man. Anyway,
so the theory is that he's not doing all of this because he loves Ukraine so much. It's because they secured his undying loyalty years ago, and Mykola Zlochevsky, the Ukrainian business owner of Burisma, the natural gas company, of course, kept 15 audio recordings of his dealings with Hunter Biden, and he's got the 2 with Joe, apparently, for insurance purposes.
That's malarkey, by the way.
Malarkey.
The president has said.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
So anyway, the House is demanding access to the information. According to the recordings, though, not only was Hunter allegedly paid $5 million for his services, but obviously Joe was paid an additional $5 million for whatever services he was rendering. Plus, Biden himself admitted that he also forced Ukraine to fire their prosecutor at the time. So now they've got all this information on him. They've got all these. They've got all of this great blackmail material on him, and they're using it.
Okay.
And they're getting paid handsomely for it with the ransom.
So, what did we have the clip that talked about how many miles, 17 or 18,000 miles Biden has spent with Xi Jinping?
Yep.
Okay, so it's going to look really weird when we're supplying China with materials to help them take over Taiwan. I'm telling you, man. It's like you're gonna see where the Biden money trail is soon enough over there as well. Yep, I don't like it. I'll go out on a limb and say that.
Where's the money? Where's the money? I don't know. Probably spread through a whole bunch of different bank accounts. That's where the money is.
So his two responses to these allegations, these tapes exist, was malarkey, and yesterday it was just a laugh. Like he walked by a reporter and he's like, "Hey, are there tapes where you took bribes?" I mean, that's what,
and he didn't even respond.
Yeah, he just kept walking.
So great. Isn't that great to have a president like this that you can be proud of? You can be proud of. We can watch him disintegrate mentally right before our eyes.
Yeah.
And we've also got the added bonus that he's completely corrupt.
Yeah. So when you see Joe Biden walking or talking or trying to breathe, that is the perfect example. I mean, that is just the United States of America personified. That's where we are. We are, as Joe Biden goes, we go, as sad as that is.
It's
so when
sad.
he's stumbling along or
pretty
tripping
sad.
over a sandbag.
So are we, is what you're saying?
That's what I'm saying.
Okay. All right.
It hurts, man.
It does hurt.
It really hurts.
It really does. By the way, what happened to Frank Luntz? You know, here's a guy who was obvious conservative.
The pollster guy.
Pollster.
On Fox News?
Yeah.
Yeah, I see him.
We had him at the Blaze multiple times.
Let's see what's he.
It is nuts, the things that he is spewing now.
Oh.
What happened to this guy?
Oh, when you say what happened to him,
Yeah,
we
what
have a
happened
story.
to him?
I thought it was just like, hey, whatever happened to Frank Luntz?
No, it's like, what happened to Matt Drudge? What happened to Frank Luntz?
Okay. I don't know what's going on.
He said, I now have to acknowledge that it is a distinct possibility that Donald Trump could be elected president. I did not believe that 1 year ago. I did not believe that the search of Mar-a-Lago would be handled so badly. I did not believe that the indictment of him in New York would be handled so badly. I did not believe that his opponents would be so inept as to actually strengthen him, and the combination of all those makes him now viable, not just in the Republican primary, but in the general election.
Oh, yeah, that's a fact. He is definitely stronger every time you strike him down. Raised $7 million, right, since the indictment? Is that right?
I hadn't heard that figure. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure it's around that.
It's now conceivable, Luntz said, that in 2024 the country comes apart. We have a 15% likelihood of that destroying American democracy, depending on what happens. NATO is in jeopardy, clearly. Ukraine will no longer receive American support. Oh, no. Wouldn't that be tragic? Our legal system will be in jeopardy. I don't want to contemplate it. He denied he was exaggerating, said comparisons to the United States surviving civil war were irrelevant in modern times. Everything that I would have previously said to you was impossible is actually happening. Huh. All right, well, you're this concerned about Donald Trump, and you're not concerned about what Joe Biden is doing to the country? Joe Biden is killing us. Anybody who can't see that is politically blind. It was never conceivable before, just as January 6th wasn't conceivable, just as the election day wasn't conceivable, just as Roe v. Wade being overturned wasn't conceivable. The Roman Empire could never fall until it fell. The sun never set on the British Empire until it came apart. And the Greeks created civilization. Now look where Greece is at. I mean, geez. Why don't you take a look at what's going on in this particular administration? He said democracies can survive negativity and they can survive division. They cannot survive rejection of the truth because in the end, so he's alleging here that an election of Donald Trump would mean the rejection of truth. Because in the end, the foundation of democracy is knowing the truth. That's how voters can vote correctly. in his first public appearance since the indictment. Of course, Donald Trump came out swinging, and I guess Luntz is quite concerned about it all now. Because, seriously, he's only gotten more popular since the indictment.
Yeah, and actually, in the 24 hours after the court appearance, $7 million was raised.
It was $7 million?
By Donald Trump's campaign.
Not bad. Jeez.
I love that stuff.
I know. He's going to use this, and it's going to be a very, very successful fundraising period between now and the election. He's going to have, I would guess, all the money he's going to need to make this happen. DeSantis is considered the candidate capable of posing the biggest threat to him, but Luntz identified Tim Scott as having the best prospects of beating Biden. Okay.
That was awesome.
All
so
right.
he slipped a Laffy Taffy joke in the middle of his article. What in the world? That was out of nowhere.
If Tim Scott gets the nomination, he's absolutely beating Joe Biden without any hesitation. Frank, have you met any of these candidates? Have you seen any of these candidates?
I mean, I think it's fair to say that we would rank any of these individuals above Joe Biden.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
I don't even know the Miami guy. I'm sure he's better than... I mean, the dog crap out here that someone left in the parking lot.
Better
on the
than Joe
median.
Biden.
I mean, it doesn't...
Yes.
The bar's not that high.
No. But
do you honestly think that
Tim Scott has the best shot at beating Biden? No. No.
I don't know that we can have... I think the days of the nice guy winning for the Republican Party, those days are over, man.
Yeah.
You got to come out swinging. And Trump and DeSantis seem to be the only ones willing to do that. Let me look here. Hang on. Mike Pence. He'll handle things, right? Maybe Larry Elder.
Maybe.
You got a few possibilities?
Maybe.
I mean, Chris Christie, I don't know, man. I don't think that the debate halls they have the budget for the buffets on debate night. Let's see. Yeah, I think that your only hopes really, and I think Vivek is smart enough that he can just run circles around him.
Yes.
So maybe those four.
Maybe.
I don't know.
But Tim Scott would not be the one that I would point to. Hey, who if they get out of the Republican primary and they're the nominee, man, that Tim Scott's the one that could really win the general election and the presidency. No. I mean, it's not that I dislike him intensely. It's just that I don't know that anybody's super excited about his candidacy. Are they? I don't know anybody who's excited about it.
Here's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping for a free and fair election in 2024. That's what I want.
That would be great.
That sure would be.
That would be great. And again, remember the days when we used to check other countries' election results?
Those were good days.
We used to oversee them just to make sure they're free and fair. Who's going to do that for us now?
I've said this before. In hindsight, maybe we should have taken the United Nations up on their offer in 2020 to come and monitor our elections. Jimmy Carter, you're not doing anything. You're literally not doing anything right now. Can you help us out and watch over these elections?
Yep. Yep.
I don't know, man.
Be good.
I'm scared. I'll tell you
that. I think we all are, and with good reason.
Yeah,
with good reason.
Yep.
So we got this going for us. Talk about Jill's fundraising efforts in Hollywood coming up, because those are going to be successful.
Wait, Joe's about to go out to Hollywood?
No, Jill's already there.
Jill, Dr. Jill?
Yeah, Dr. Jill Biden.
See, when you leave off doctor, then I have no idea who you're talking about.
Well, it's so disrespectful.
Any Jill Biden
right?
out
It's
there.
like leaving the doctor off of Glenn Beck, because it's the same
thing.
Doctorate, by the way. Same.
So Dr. Jill's going to Hollywood, huh?
Yeah.
Oh,
she's already, in fact, she's there. And she is making an impression on the people in Hollywood.
What's
great.
not to love?
Exactly. We'll talk about that. We got much more on the way as well. Some more trans news for you.
Oh, good. Yeah, we got an update from the Snoob Waggler.
Oh, wow. Good. Okay. Coming up.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
Great Debbie with us. 888-900-3393.
We both had our headphones down.
Yep.
Talking about JFK assassination. My bad.
Got some tweets here. Grammy Tamara tweets, Ashley saying that Biden works hard for America is laughable. He's working hard to destroy America, eating ice cream and sniffing kids. Mr. Texas, I wake up every morning and tell myself just how lucky I am to have old man Biden as my president. Just so lucky. Dirty Mule, so I take down my pride tree and put up my Juneteenth tree for the weekend? They can't possibly coexist, can they? It's a lot of work if you do it that way. I just let mine coexist. I have them up simultaneously.
So you have two of them.
Yeah, I have the pride tree, of course, and then the Juneteenth tree as well. So,
hold on. Is it the old school pride tree?
No, it's the new
It's
progressive.
the progressive.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people are kind of copping out, and they'll just get
That's just wrong.
the pastel colored star to put on top of the old pride.
Sorry,
tree.
that's wrong.
You need to
and
start
hateful.
from scratch.
I don't mean to disparage anybody's pride tree, but that's hateful.
Got to update that stuff.
Ours tweets, if you look at it, both Hillary and Biden took documents as a congressperson. I wonder how many others have.
Yeah, wait, hold on. The man has admitted he has documents from 1974. He's currently a sitting president. Where's the special counsel against him? Why is it a priority to go after a guy who's currently a private citizen, not sitting in any elective office, yet this guy, the president right now, Joe Biden, nothing. Nah, whatever.
Communist Elmo tweets, in our formative years, we threw tea in a harbor and went to war over taxes and lack of representation. Now the government rigs elections, uses us for medical experimentation, and forces masks on our children. Yet, we can't be bothered. Yeah, it says a mouthful right there, doesn't it?
What time does our favorite TV show start? Sorry, I don't have time for your tea.
Yeah, I wish I could pay attention to what's going on, but I just can't. It's time for Bridgerton to come on.
Wait, hold on.
Of course, Bridgerton can come on anytime you want it to, but...
Time out.
Yeah.
We got to address this. Have you watched Bridgerton?
Yes, I have.
Is it good?
Yes, it is.
Because you're
very good.
And I'm just...
We watch it on VidAngel. It's awesome.
I'm just pointing this out.
Okay.
I've not heard a man who likes that show.
Seriously?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not disparaging you. I've just only heard women talking about it.
Seems like you are.
Is it? Okay, Chris is in there. You don't count. No, seriously.
Chris,
is
you
it
watch
good?
it? Yeah. Okay.
So if
Chris
if I like the British people, Downton Abbey, would I like Bridgerton then?
Oh, of course. Yes.
Okay.
Very similar.
It's the first time I've gotten an endorsement from a guy. A guy.
I mean, a good portion of their audience has to be men. They claim, Netflix claims 82 million people watched, I think, the first episode. 82 million. Now, Netflix is what constitutes as a person watching their episode. I think if you see the name on the website, that counts.
The trailer starts playing.
Yeah.
It's like, boom, there's a view.
If you watch even a second of it, Netflix, there's another view right there. We got another view. But still, that's a large number.
Yeah.
A lot of people saw it.
But it's a good show.
And like it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really good.
What time frame is it set in, though?
Like 1815
All right.
to 1820-ish in that.
But it's not just this chicky love story thing then, huh?
There's some, it's
Okay. All right. I'll check it out.
Yeah, check it out.
All right.
I mean, if Downton Abbey's not a chicky love story, then this isn't either.
Well, the first 2 seasons were really good. Then it became a soap opera.
That's what Jackie said. She stopped watching it after the first season.
Yeah.
Yeah, she dropped it. So,
okay. But she's hung with Bridgerton.
She's hung with it. Yeah, both seasons. In fact, we're on the last episode. Have you seen the whole thing, Chris? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you saw the whole thing. Liked it a lot.
So hold on, is it done? If I start watching it, it's not. I don't have to wait for season whatever. They're all done.
The first 2 seasons are done. I think they're in the middle of season 3. Is that right?
Yeah, they're in the middle of season 3. Did you watch the spinoff?
Queen.
Yeah.
Yes. Queen Charlotte.
What did you think?
Did watch it. Loved it. I liked it a lot. Did you not?
Oh, I liked it. Yeah.
Yeah. Really good. Really good. I don't know how we got on that, but
It's good TV.
It's because we're too busy watching shows like that
and talking about
Pay
it. Instead
attention to what the hell's going on in this country.
I don't have time to call my representative. I got shows to watch, yo.
Oh, man. Trans influencer Rose Montoya, who was just banned from the White House after flashing her snoobs. We call it waggling her snoobs.
Yeah.
On Saturday that happened. He said he's tired of seeing brands caving to the bullies. Are you serious? The brands caving to bullies are the brands that are caving to this trans sexual thing, this transgender thing, the homosexual agenda. I mean, has there ever been a time in American history where more businesses have succumbed to the pressure that they're getting from this special interest group than right now? The 27-year-old has over 800,000 followers on TikTok and said this year he didn't receive many brands. This is written by, who is this? Oh, Breitbart. Okay, so that's why they're calling him he. Okay. He did not receive many brands or companies seeking to partner with him for Pride Month. Oh, no. You hate to see
like you're
that,
entitled to that, bro?
I guess so.
Okay.
I've spoken to a lot of my trans friends and colleagues, and we've all noticed less brands seeking partnerships and smaller budgets for Pride campaigns. It's disappointing. Wow. Not to the rest of us.
Yeah.
The rest of us are getting just a bit tired of celebrating your pride.
Yeah. This is, June. Are you? You're not even. Oh, today we're halfway.
Yeah, halfway through. Halfway through, exactly.
Today's 15th.
The son of a pastor, Montoya, came out as transgender in 2015 when he was 20. He and other members of the LGBTQIA community have accused corporations of participating in rainbow capitalism or pinkwashing.
Pinkwashing. Okay. And this is the guy who was flashing his snoobs in front of the White House.
Yeah.
I thought somebody made a great point on Twitter the other day when they said it was like a picture of a pride parade. Snoobs were out, everything was dangling. And he was like, if straight people were to walk down a street like this in front of kids, they'd have to register as sex offenders.
So true. Oh, man. So
fair
true.
point.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
This guy feels like he's entitled to have an ad buy with
everybody,
major corporation, because look, I have boobies.
And you're concerned. You're wondering why this is happening when two major corporations have lost literally tens of billions of dollars in market evaluation, and you're wondering why more aren't jumping into that.
Pat.
Okay.
Charlie Kirk tweeted this out. Conservative boycotts have resulted in 3 brands losing $50 billion market cap in just the last 60 days.
Jeez.
They shoved their pride flag, cultural imperialism down our throats. They came for our kids. They pushed too far. Now we're awake. Keep the pressure on. Exactly.
Yeah.
You can make a difference.
Yep. So obviously that's Target, Bud Light. Who's the third? Specify? Or
no, it doesn't say.
Okay.
Target, Bud Light. Who is the third? There's some. Oh, maybe it's a Call of Duty one. Daniel says.
Oh, maybe.
Call of Groomers.
Possibly.
Yeah, they're gonna have a reckoning, I think, over there. That's
a huge game too.
That heat is still on.
Isn't that the #1 game of all time? Maybe Call of Duty.
Well,
it's up there.
You and I both know it should be NCAA football.
Yes,
fill in the year.
Yeah, it should.
And that's coming back next summer.
So it was already supposed to be delayed, here, but got delayed
because of
NIL
insanity.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Demi Lovato still working on understanding her identity. This is kind of weird. I mean, she seems pretty feminine and seems to be, I don't know, maybe I just don't know all there is to know about Demi Lovato.
Yeah.
And the Disney princesses.
She's come back to her feminine roots, I guess.
I guess she's back to she, her.
Yeah.
She recently announced she's adding back she, her pronouns in addition to they, them.
Oh, it's in addition.
Yeah, it's in addition. So she, her, they, them.
Mix and match.
explained why she made the change. I constantly had to educate people and explain why I identified with those pronouns. It was absolutely exhausting.
Educate us. We're just not there. We're not on your level, Demi.
And that's one of the reasons that's led me to also feel comfortable with the feminine pronoun. I just got tired. For that very reason, I know it's important to continue spreading the word. Okay.
We're good if you don't.
Weird. In 2021, Lovato announced she was non-binary. No, you're not. No, you're not. And was choosing to go by they, them pronouns. You're also not a multiple entity, if I might be so bold as to exclaim. You're just a single individual. They, them doesn't make any sense for you, Puddin'. About a year later, the singer shared that she was including she, her in how she identifies. Jeez, this is so complicated. It's so ridiculous.
No.
Lovato explained on the Spout podcast at the time, I felt like, especially last year, my energy was balanced in my masculine and feminine energy, so that when I was faced with the choice of walking into the bathroom and it said women and men, I didn't feel like there was a bathroom for me. Oh, man.
Go on the floor, right out front in the hall.
Because I didn't feel necessarily like a woman. I didn't necessarily feel like a man. I just felt like a human, and that's what they, them is about for me. Now, if she walked into if Demi Lovato walks into a men's bathroom, are you going to be upset by that, or are you going to welcome her?
Good Lord.
I'm going to be upset by it. I'm going to say, Demi, this is the men's room. Did you come in the wrong one? Did you not see the sign on the outside? But some may appreciate it. You know, some may like it. I don't know. I'm not one of them.
Out! And by the way, Pat, this is the girl that had sex with aliens and talked with aliens in 2021.
Oh, that I didn't know. She had sex
she
with
went to
aliens?
Jimmy Kimmel and said that she's able to talk to aliens, and they prefer not to be called aliens because it's an offensive term, and she has sex with the aliens.
Okay, so obviously this is a disturbed person.
What? Whoa. Okay, what are you, a doctor?
Yes,
What kind of diagnosis is that, sir?
It's a correct one.
You know, remember the secret deodorant, you know, right? Strong. Is that that's who was strong enough for a man, made for a woman?
Made for a woman, yeah.
I mean, there's a marketing opportunity here. They got to bring that back.
Seriously.
I mean, I'm sure it's still on the shelf somewhere.
Yeah. Then there was also the Irish Spring situation with manly, yes, but I like it too. Remember that?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yep. So you can, so both sexes can use it. Now that we're denying there are two sexes, though, maybe that's a problem. I don't know. Maybe you can't do that anymore.
You can figure out a way to make it work.
You can? All right.
Sure.
I mean, these marketers today for these companies, they have to be just a tad concerned, because how do you make everybody happy? You just can't. And so what I would do if I'm one of these people is stay out of it. Is that too much to ask? Just stay out of the political fray. Just advertise your product in a normal way. Do you have to jump into politics to do it? I don't think so. And I think so many of us would appreciate it if you just stayed out of all of that stuff and just sold your product.
Okay. I mean, I'm inclined to agree with you on the surface. But if that means more commercials featuring Doug and that Limu, the emo, I can't go
there's
there.
One exception.
So I'd rather they be political.
There's the exception.
Than the stupid emu thing. And then how about the kid driving over the flowers now in those commercials?
Yeah.
What a rude kid.
Dad doesn't seem to care,
right.
Though. Stay off the freeway. Shut up.
Well, stay off the flowers.
Get out of here. Anyway, I was going to tell you about Jill visiting Hollywood.
Excited.
And raising all kinds of money. She said, optimism, that's what drives my husband. Really? And nothing can slow him down. Well, except for stairs, sandbags, his feet. She told about 80 people gathered under an overcast sky in the backyard of a Lake Hollywood mansion. Joe is ready, as he likes to say, to finish the job. Yeah, that's what I'm worried about. That's exactly what I'm worried about.
Wait,
he is trying to finish the
80,000
job.
people in a backyard?
80 people.
Oh, okay.
Just 80 people, not 80,000.
Did he say 80,000, or is that just in my head? My head. Okay. Sorry. My bad.
So as we get ready to jump back into a campaign, I cannot even believe I'm already saying this. Think about how far we've come in the last 3 years. Yeah, we've been thinking about that, Dr. Jill. It's the worst that America has ever experienced in the history of this nation in a 3-year period of time, by far. I mean, does anybody even come close to this? Maybe Lyndon Johnson? Woodrow Wilson?
Over the weekend, in one of Trump's speeches, he said that Joe Biden is already the worst president of all time, worse than all the bad presidents combined that we've ever had before. And I sat for a second. I was like, okay, I wasn't alive during most of those bad presidents, but I think the math checks out here.
Yeah, it sure does.
You take all of the terrible policies, and there's been many from some previous presidents.
Yeah, Jimmy Carter.
It doesn't add up to what we've gone through in the last 2.5 years with this guy.
LBJ, Woodrow Wilson, yes.
And
really
we
bad.
have clips today from this administration we're going to get to that just shows you how evil this administration is.
She pointed to the administration's efforts on the pandemic, right, which made it worse. You remember when he said that any president who oversees 200,000 deaths deserves to be out of office or whatever during the campaign. He said that. Yeah. Then he proceeded to oversee more than that. Yeah. Many more than that.
And he stayed in office, though.
Yeah, he did. The Russian invasion of Ukraine, which would not have happened if it were Donald Trump in office instead of him, and the debt ceiling crisis as examples of Joe's steady leadership. Oh, my gosh.
Joe's steady leadership.
Oh, my gosh.
Can't even walk steady.
When things look darkest and when my heart feels the sting of headlines in the news, I know that it's clear, Joe's clear vision that I want steering us forward. Whew. Well, that makes one of you. That makes one of you, Jill. Thank you so much. Good night and drive safely. Much more coming up on Pat Gray Unleashed.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
Pat Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
Welcome. Getting close to the weekend here. 888-900-3393. Pat Unleashed on Twitter.
Friday Eve. Right?
Yep.
Okay.
Got some tweets. This from Big Poppy. How much of that money donated to Trump is actually going to the campaign versus defense fund? I'm not sure you can use it that way.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's what he needs. Another legal issue.
Yeah. Clemson Mimi. My husband liked Bridgerton, and the first season was great, but the second, not so much. We love Downton Abbey so much, and it's much better than Bridgerton.
Oh, okay.
Pat, try the show Poldark. It's very good. We did try that.
Is it very good?
Yeah, it was good. It was good. Much better than the reality show going on at the White House. That's for sure. Squatching Duck. We're only about 6 months away from the only people allowed to do commercials will be naked hermaphrodites.
Oh, 6 months, huh?
Yeah, about
Just
that.
in time for the Christmas season.
Jimbo Wars 81 concerning Frank Luntz and his comments. Isn't that what the globalists' New World Order want? A divided America? Perhaps this is all by their design. Yeah. Apparently, we were talking about how Luntz seems to have changed over the years. I mean, bizarre. He's very anti-Trump, obviously. He thinks if Trump is elected, it's seemingly the end of the country, according to him. But here's what he was saying on the BBC.
Donald Trump has masterfully changed the dynamic, masterfully changed the narrative. And unless they're able to put it back, then Trump absolutely is a credible candidate. And yes, he could win. And my challenge to those people watching right now is that it's up to the news media, it's up to networks like this, and it's up to the prosecution to understand how voters think and feel, because if they don't, they will actually help Trump succeed.
Okay. And he's very afraid of that. He thinks that would be the end of our democracy. So
What's he afraid of?
I don't know. Were you paying attention during the Trump presidency? Went pretty well.
Yeah.
He did some great things as president, and the economy was certainly a lot stronger than it is today. I don't know what his deal is.
By the way, Pat had Tara Hart sent us a note that says that Kevin McCarthy rented a room from Frank Luntz. And I looked this up, and sure enough, I mean, he was a tenant.
Really?
The room says it wasn't a conflict of interest.
And when was this? Was it recently?
Yeah, this was. So this story is from May of 2021, after the Fox News host Tucker Carlson first reported the California Republicans' living arrangement with Luntz in downtown Washington. Interesting.
Yeah, very.
Okay.
Very interesting. Tucker's rant the other night, monologue, I guess he's calling it. His monologue the other night was fascinating.
Yeah.
Really fascinating and frightening. And it had a lot to do with Trump, and it had a lot to do with Republicans and Democrats wanting the same things, going after the same things. And
one of those is defeating Trump.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because Trump is the only anti-war person in the entire field, pretty much. So, I mean, that's what he's alleging. He's saying that Trump isn't your typical warmonger, and he's not making a bunch of money from the war machine. So that's what these guys are all about. I don't know. It's interesting. Check it out. See what you think. From, what was it, the 13th, I think.
A couple nights ago.
Yeah. So this was a strange divergence by the Transportation Secretary, Pete Buttigieg, yesterday. He was asked a question about trans kids in sports and if he thought they were safe to compete in light of so many Americans wanting only girls to compete in girls' sports. Imagine that. What a concept. Check out his response.
I think it's safe, especially right now when you have one side that has a maximalist commitment to tearing down every norm.
That's us.
And
tearing down every norm.
And law they don't like.
Or tearing down every norm? Wait, pause it for a second. Okay, so you're saying the norm is for men to compete against women, and we're tearing down that norm?
I mean, it's upside down.
They don't even make sense. They don't even make sense.
This is the upside down, bizarro world, man.
We're tearing down every norm. What?
Help us, man.
All right, there was more. Jeez.
How does it happen? I think it's happening because there are some people who find it easier to pick on really vulnerable young people than to explain why they voted no on money for roads and bridges.
What?
I don't know, man.
How do you make that connection?
But have you noticed this new line? That this is the memo that was arranged over the weekend that went out to all the minions in the Biden administration because it started on Monday with KJP. The reporter asked the question. We played it. He's like, what do you tell parents of daughters, that just want girls to compete against girls? And then she just like, she stops right then. She's like, okay, whoa, this is dangerous. What you're doing here.
Yeah.
You're basically, you're picking on.
That's their new talking point.
Right. And so now it's been filtered to all the different cabinet positions. And this is our message. We're going to stay on point. It's dangerous to be going after trans kids. What are you doing, you haters?
You're essentially forcing their hand to commit suicide. That's what they're trying to make out of this.
And that's what
that's their thing now.
The Levine guy said, too. Remember that?
Yes.
Yeah, he's like, this is suicide prevention when you allow kids to castrate themselves.
Wow. And speaking of kids, here's an excerpt from a White House video of Joe Biden discussing the children of America.
Okay.
These are our kids.
Whoa.
These are our neighbors. Not somebody else's kids. They're all our kids.
No.
Back off.
No.
Need to back off, old man.
But that's how they feel about it, and they've been saying that a lot lately, too.
Yeah, remember?
These are all our kids. We're all raising everybody's kids. They belong to us all. No.
It's probably 8 years ago, 7-8 years ago. What was the MSNBC chick's name?
Right.
She had this thing where she was just like, that was the tip of the spear there. That's when we...
That's when they started pushing that.
You could go back to Hillary Clinton. Takes a village.
Sure could. We have more from HHS Secretary Becerra, who was asked about the safety of puberty blockers. Of course they're safe.
Yeah. And effective.
Yeah.
Do puberty
Saving lives.
blockers pose a health risk to children and teenagers?
Congresswoman, if a medical professional has been recommending health care for an individual, then I would believe that that healthcare professional had the best interests of that individual in mind in prescribing or recommending certain treatment or medicines.
What does your own FDA say are the risks of these chemical castration drugs and puberty blockers to young people?
Well, no drug would be on the market if it were not considered safe and effective by the FDA.
Right.
And
So
therefore,
what does the
those drugs-
FDA, what is your own FDA saying the risks are?
Well, with any drug, there will be some level of risk.
Yeah,
But
you're
if
not
it's-
answering my question. What does
he
your
never does.
FDA say the risks are? Because people want to know the risks.
And Congressman, I'm trying to answer you the question.
No,
if
you're
the
not.
Food and Drug Administration has put a drug out for the market for consumers to use, it is because they have found that drug after doing research and looking at the evidence. They have found that drug to be safe and effective for its use.
Well, I'll answer the question. Your own FDA has admitted these puberty blockers cause brain swelling, brain tumors, vision loss, even blindness. Why is the Biden administration and your agency continuing to promote these blockers when you know that they're harmful to children and young adults?
Congresswoman, as I said, you've shown me nothing that says that the FDA didn't go through a process to ensure that a particular drug was safe and effective. It would not be on the market if it weren't. We would find FDA in court for having put a drug out
I'd
there
like
in
to
the market.
enter into the record the FDA's warnings, which I have up here also.
Without objection.
And also, in a written answer to me after the last hearing, you wrote that taxpayer dollars should be used to pay for sex reassignment surgeries and chemical castration drugs for children.
Oh my gosh. These are just really evil people. They're just evil.
Yeah, that's not even the worst from him.
You can't get a straight answer out of this guy. He is the worst.
So yeah, so he wrote to her. He wants tax dollars to pay for chemical castration. What was the thing yesterday? He wanted to.
Yesterday we had the clip where the government is funding programs like Head Start that were cut off if mask mandates for 2-year-olds weren't in place.
Okay.
So you weren't going to get your federal funding if you didn't force the kids to wear masks. So now listen to how government funding under the Biden administration works when child mutilation is involved. Here's more from Becerra.
Okay.
This spring, HHS released a 112-page report claiming that gender affirmation, including social transition, changing one's name, pronoun, and/or appearance, is appropriate and beneficial for gender minority children and adolescents, according to this report. The report recommends cutting federal funds from states with, quote, policies that stigmatize transgender children, including by denying them access to medically necessary health care, end quote. Mr. Secretary, does this mean that HHS is seriously threatening to withhold hospital grants from states like my own if they refuse to go along with surgeries or puberty blockers for kids?
Congressman, we're going to protect the rights of any American to get the health care they're entitled to. And if someone tries to stop them from that, that's a violation of the law.
So you would withhold hospital grants from states like mine that ban transgender sex reassignment surgeries for minors? I mean, that's what the report says, clearly.
We will protect the rights of any individual to receive the health care they're entitled to.
My gosh.
And we will take action against anyone who tries to discriminate.
So that's
despicable. Despicable. What a despicable human being. Oh, man.
I mean, the Marxists have the reins, man.
Illegal alien children were also a topic talked about yesterday. Here's Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene going off.
We're missing 85,000 children, 85,000 children. And while Democrats across the aisle on this committee want to talk about families being separated under the Trump administration, I'd like to introduce for the record, Mr. Chairman, a letter from Custom and Border Protection saying that the Biden administration is ending DNA testing, familial DNA testing, that was at the end of May 31st, 2023. So when you talk about separating children, we have the Biden administration not even testing who these adults and these children are. And I can't comprehend it. Everyone in this room knows what an Amber Alert is. We all get them on our phones, right? This is when a child has been kidnapped. And we are so concerned in this country about children who have been kidnapped that we have something called an Amber Alert, notifying all of us that there is a missing child. 85,000 children missing, migrant children missing in the United States is the same thing as 85,000 Amber Alerts. It's unbelievable.
Yep. And nobody cares. Now that Biden is in office, it just doesn't matter. Can you imagine if this were Trump and there were 85,000 children missing that we didn't have any idea where they are? We don't know. All hell would break loose.
And that's what's so frustrating about playing these clips. They're infuriating.
Yeah.
But it makes for an interesting clip, right? Mm-hmm. It's very compelling to hear the members of Congress going after members of this administration. But then what?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody cares.
But then what? Yeah. Josh Hawley brought up the policies from Biden on, toward illegal alien children as well.
Let's look at some of the things that we've learned about what's going on over at HHS that Secretary Becerra is doing. Here's some quotes from employees at HHS.
Wow. Employees.
At least 5 Health and Human Services staff members said that they were pushed out after raising concerns about child safety.
Wow.
This is all from the New York Times, by the way. Mr. Becerra told the Office of Refugee Resettlement Director that if she could not increase the number of discharges of children, he'd find somebody who would.
Oh.
Next, 20% of kids have to be released every week or you get dinged.
Oh, God.
It's a conveyor belt of children being forced through the system. And what's the priority of HHS? Just get them out as fast as we can. They go to factories. They go to slave labor. No. I've written to the FBI and asked the FBI, where are the 80,000 plus children this administration's lost? They don't know. I've said it's your responsibility to go get them. It's a direct violation of child labor laws. They're not doing anything. Nobody's doing anything. It's outrageous. It's absolutely outrageous. And the fact that the administration won't come and sit there and answer questions to this committee is absurd. And it is nothing more than cowardice. They don't want to answer questions. They don't want to be responsible. They don't want to take responsibility for this. So let the record reflect that this administration has let tens of thousands of children be sold into slavery, and they are doing nothing about it.
Yeah. And then when they do come and sit there and are asked questions, they still don't answer them. Mm-hmm. They still just answer whatever it is in their head that they feel like answering.
And you combine that clip of Josh Hawley saying, look, when you've got employees in the department saying, hey, maybe we're not supposed to be doing this, they get in trouble. I'll find somebody who can. A direct quote from Becerra. You've got you're going to get dinged if you don't get 20% of these kids. And then you combine that with the Marjorie Taylor Greene clip. Yeah, they're getting them out of there, but they're not releasing them with family. They don't even test for DNA anymore. They're just like, whatever. Yep. Oh, you're okay. Cool. Go. We are a nation adrift.
Which was why so many children stayed in the facilities longer under Trump, because Trump was trying to support.
Right.
He was trying to support the families getting back together. He was trying to make sure that it wasn't a sex offender or a sex trafficker picking up the child, claiming it's theirs. And so,
but kids in
they
cages.
Had to stay a little bit longer.
Kids in cages, Pat.
Yeah, I know.
Kids in cages.
I know. It's way better if they're all missing somewhere and they're in sex slavery.
Yeah.
That's way better.
That's
way better.
That's the argument that the left makes because Trump.
I mean, they don't admit it, but that's the argument they're making. All right, let me tell you about Moink. Moink is moo plus oink. So meaning, obviously, they've got beef, they've got pork, they have chicken, they have delicious salmon.
Thank you.
So good.
Love that stuff.
From small family farms right to your dining table, Moink gives you access to the freshest, sustainably sourced meat and fish, all while supporting American family farms. You can help save the family farm and get access to the highest quality meat on earth when you join the Mink movement today. The Moink movement today. Moink delivers grass-fed and grass-finished beef and lamb, pastured pork and chicken, and sustainably caught, wild-caught Alaskan salmon straight to your door. Moink farmers farm like our grandparents did, and because of that, Moink meat tastes like it should, because the family farm just does it better. Really delicious stuff. The best bacon you'll ever eat. Really delicious, tender, tasty steaks that I absolutely love. Keep American farming going by signing up at moinkbox.com/unleashed. Sign up right now, and listeners of this show will get free bacon in your first box. It's the best bacon, again, that you will ever taste, and it's just for a limited time. It's spelled MOINK, moinkbox.com/unleashed. That's moinkbox.com/unleashed.
You're listening to Pat Gray Unleashed.
Couple of tweets for you. Kenneth Parker, stopping the federal funding from states that have been taxed because the government doesn't agree with this state is taxation without representation.
Love it.
Thank you. The Unmasked Avenger. Wait a minute. Your doctor should be able to prescribe what he thinks you need for your health? That's what Becerra said.
Yep.
Did that apply to ivermectin?
I love it.
Such a great point. Jeez. Of course not. No. Or hydrochloroquine didn't apply to either of those. Why? Because the government didn't have the patent on those two drugs, and they weren't making any money on them.
So cynical.
I represent science.
The deplorable Mr. Jackwagon. Hey, Keith, can you check where in the Constitution thingy, if it says it's a right to cut off your snoobs and giblets and the government has to pay for it? Thanks. Yeah, is that the good and plenty clause? I think it is, yeah.
Oh, yeah, here it is. Yeah,
there.
Underneath that, it says, if you don't think what you have is good, then they no longer have to be plentiful. We got there.
Okay, good. Perfect. Yesterday, it was Kevin McCarthy versus a CNN reporter again.
Oh, fun.
In the hallways of Congress.
I haven't had you ask me one question about the current president having classified documents. I haven't had you ask me one question about the current president as a senator, why he even would have a classified document. Does that raise any questions to you?
Well, he gave them back.
Okay, when was he senator?
So when they did a search,
when was he senator?
And Speaker, there's a difference here. And
well, there is a difference because why did they only brought up their attorneys looking at it after they started going after President Trump and raided it? Why did they never look at this former vice president or senator?
Right.
Why would he even have a document? Okay, regardless of every happened when he gave it back. I've always said equal justice. So my question back to you, is it equal or fair? Have you ever asked the question to the current president as a senator, why would you ever even have that document outside of the SCIF? Has anyone answered that question?
Great. You got to love it. And CNN, of course, there's a difference. Yeah, the difference is you hate Donald Trump's guts. And you, for whatever reason, love this guy. That's the difference. You don't care about anything Biden does. You don't follow up on any of the scandals that he's enmeshed in. But anything that's remotely bad for Donald Trump, man, you're going to be on like a bulldog. That's great. Perfect. By the way, the House yesterday voted against the idea of censuring and condemning Adam Schiff for all of his stinking lies about Trump's collusion with Russia. Over and over and over again. The guy insinuated, well, he said it outright.
Oh, he knew he was lying too.
That he had evidence. That he had evidence of collusion. Really? Where? Where is it then? Because we just found out there wasn't any, and if you've got something different that proves otherwise, let's see it.
Yeah, and 20 Republicans voted against this yesterday, and they are getting all sorts of crap thrown at them now.
As they should. Should. One of the things was that it was not just a resolution to censure him, but they recommended a $16 million fine.
Yeah, and that's where Thomas Massey, who is one of the 20 that voted against the censure, said, look,
I couldn't do that.
I can't do that. I'm not going to do the fine thing. If you want to separate this out, I'll vote for the censure. That's constitutional. He cited the 27th and 8th Amendments.
Yes.
And his back and forth.
Excessive penalty.
Right. On Twitter, where he explains this with Anna Paulina Luna, who put this forth. That's where he explains himself. And he's like, censure, that's constitutional. These fines, excessive fines, not. So it's very interesting. I would call your representative if they voted against this. There's 20 of them, 20 Republicans.
Ask them why.
Yeah. Let's see if they have a principled stand
Ask them why.
like Massey. Yeah. So hopefully this comes back up without the fines included, and then we'll see how they vote.
Right. 888-900-3393. More Pat Gray Unleashed coming up.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.
So Daniel Penny, the former Marine, was indicted yesterday for manslaughter. Charged by Manhattan prosecutors and indicted by a grand jury now. Grand jury proceedings are secret, and spokespeople for the Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg declined to comment. But the indictment was confirmed by New York City Mayor Eric Adams. So he will be tried, and we'll see what happens there.
Oh, and you've got people on board the train. Like, what was it? He referred to her as a woman of color who came out.
Thanked him.
Yeah.
Thanked him for what
You're
he did.
You're a hero.
Yeah.
It's
incredible.
This is so wrong.
They just keep going.
Yeah.
Just keep going.
You know,
forward.
the biggest crime for Mr. Penny is that he's a white dude.
Yes.
Doing this stuff, defending people.
Apparently that's a real problem right now.
Especially,
a lot of white people where they shouldn't be.
Yeah, especially if you're defending others from a black dude.
Right.
Well,
you don't want to do that.
You can't
You don't want to do that. On Monday, in a surprising twist, a federal jury in New Jersey ordered a Starbucks to pay $25.6 million to a former regional manager after determining that the company fired her amid the fallout from the Rittenhouse Square episode because, well, she's white, as you can see there.
Oh, yeah, I see that she's white.
Yeah, she's white, and you can't have that.
I mean, this is really good news for people of injustice.
Right. The jury found that Starbucks had violated the federal civil rights of Shannon Phillips, as well as New Jersey laws that prohibit discrimination based on race. And so they awarded her $600,000 in compensatory damages and $25 million in punitive.
Let's go. I love that. Can we go back real quick?
Great.
I mean, this story is right along the same lines. The Daniel Penny being indicted. Did you hear the story? And you're not going to, by the way. But did you hear the story of the pregnant Asian woman sitting in her car in downtown Seattle with her husband, who was shot reportedly by a black man, killed her, killed the unborn baby? You heard about that one?
I heard about it. I didn't see any.
I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that.
Any mention?
Have you heard about that on the news on CNN? Are they going to cover that hate crime there?
No.
Huh?
Nope.
Wonder why that is.
And the story I did read had no mention of the race of the person who killed the woman and her baby.
Yeah, people have pieced it together.
Incredible.
Online.
That's just incredible.
And I'll eat my words if I'm wrong tomorrow, but the sleuths have figured it out. But you've got a guy, a white guy, who defends people of all races on the train in New York Wasn't 15 minutes, by the way, as he explained in his interview. It was like 2 to 3 minutes between stops.
Right.
If you've ever ridden a train, you know it's not 15 minutes between stops. So he defends somebody. The guy dies.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't what and the way Mr. Penny explained it, it wasn't from choking. So it'd be interesting to see what the cause of death actually was there. I'm not positive on that. But you've got just this random shooting in Seattle. Where's I haven't seen it anywhere on the news. And I mean, this guy was the pregnant Asian chick. Was she harassing people on a train? Was she threatening physical violence for anybody? No, she was sitting there minding her own business in a dangerous progressive city. That's her crime.
Yeah. Yep. Sitting while Asian.
Yep.
So that's what happened there. Yeah. Yeah. This is interesting too. Amazon confirmed it shut down a man's house. They shut down a smart home after a delivery truck driver misheard and wrongly accused the owner of the house of making a racist remark through a smart doorbell. Brandon Jackson from Baltimore claimed that Amazon locked him out of his smart devices May 25th. He explained that many of the devices in his home, including his lights, are all connected to his Amazon Echo, which he was unable to access for a week.
Oh, God.
In an article posted on Medium, Jackson explained that the misunderstanding left me with a house full of unresponsive devices. A silent Amazon device, they actually name it. And a lot of questions.
Look at you, man. You're welcome, y'all.
When Jackson reached out to Amazon to find out why he was locked out, they actually told him, in a somewhat accusatory tone, he says, that a delivery driver had reported hearing a racist remark while dropping off a package at his house. Okay, first of all, he didn't do it. Secondly, even if he did, that doesn't mean Amazon can lock you out of your devices.
Yeah.
They're his.
Yeah.
Okay, you might say, well, they're Amazon's. No, he bought them. Mm-hmm. He owns them.
And then, in addition, so you said he didn't say it. It wasn't him. It was this. It was the voice, right?
Yeah,
the automated voice thing.
Yeah, and it didn't say anything racist. He explained that the accusations did not make sense. Seemed highly likely that since most delivery drivers in my area share the same race as me and my family, there's no way I uttered any kind of racist remark or did my doorbell. Jackson noted that no one was home when the alleged comment was made. God, this is incredible. He reviewed security footage, found that his Eufy doorbell had given the driver the automated response, "Excuse me, can I help you?"
Oh, that's offensive.
Yeah, that's awful. You can't put up with that. He's lucky his house didn't get burned down, let alone, just shut down.
Wait till his address becomes public, and then God only knows, man.
Jackson sent the video. He even took the time to send the video evidence to Amazon. Took several days for them to review it. During that time, they still had him shut down with all his devices. Oh, jeez. 6 days later, he finally regained access to his account. Man, I'd be pissed. Oh, my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
If someone bought and paid for a device, they should be able to use it, at least on their own property, if it doesn't hurt anyone else. I'm only pushing this story so that this won't happen to anyone else. Regardless of their race, religion, beliefs, if you paid for it, you should own it. Simone Griffin, an Amazon spokesperson, said, "We work hard to provide customers with a great experience." Did you work? Yeah. Sounds like a tremendous experience
above and
this person
beyond.
had.
Thank you.
While also ensuring drivers who deliver Amazon packages feel safe. In this case, we learned through our investigation that the customer did not act inappropriately. And again, even if he did, this is completely inappropriate to be doing to him.
Yeah.
Completely inappropriate. It's amazing to me they admitted it. Yeah, we did shut him down because we thought he said something offensive.
This should be a warning. This story should be a warning of technology's grip on your life.
Yep. And we're working directly with the customer to resolve their concerns while also looking at ways to prevent a similar situation from happening again. How about staying out of people's business?
Right.
And mind your own business.
How about don't trust the word of a delivery driver who had earbuds in?
Mm-hmm. He did. He had earbuds in his ears.
Yeah, you just understand that on the other end of many of your devices and your technology are woke individuals with this kind of mindset who are looking at any reason to make your life miserable.
And they're hoping for a reason to make your life miserable because they want to be offended by something. And they work really hard to get offended. So, like this poor guy, 6 days out of his... Well, it was 6 days after he contacted them, after he sent them the evidence that they finally turned things around and gave him back access.
I would be enraged.
Oh my gosh, I'd be livid. Just absolutely livid. All right, let me tell you about Patriot Mobile. Every day the parallel economy grows bigger and bigger. It's powered by everyday Americans sick and tired of all the woke propaganda being jammed down our throats and into every product that we have. Big mobile companies are no different. For years, they've been dumping millions into leftist causes, and we just had to take it because there weren't alternatives. But there is now, and it's Patriot Mobile. And we've been telling you about this for years. They can provide you coverage on all three major networks. You don't have to spend your money with them. You can spend it with Patriot Mobile and stay on the carrier that you like. When you switch to Patriot Mobile, though, you're sending a message that you support free speech, religious freedom, the sanctity of life, the Second Amendment, and our military. Plus, they have 100% U.S.-based customer service, and they make switching really easy. Just go to patriotmobile.com/Pat, or you could call 878-PATRIOT. Get free activation today when you use the offer code PAT. Ask about their coverage guarantee while you're there, too. You get the same dependable service, and you can take a stand for your own values. Make the switch today. PatriotMobile.com/Pat or 878-PATRIOT.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.
Now, what if the... I guess it wasn't the ringtone thing, though. What is the ringtone thing called? The...
Ring?
You know, is it Ring? Is it just Ring?
The camera, Ring camera?
Yeah. This was Eufy, though, which I've never heard of.
I've never heard of Eufy.
You heard of that?
Sounds like a drug or something you'd put in somebody's drink.
So the Eufy device did not say something racist about the driver, but did the device say something about his hairstyle?
Oh!
Because that would be
get
bad.
to the bottom of this.
Yeah.
Investigate that.
We've got the Crown Act here in Texas now. Governor Greg Abbott signed that bill into law this week. The Crown Act. It's about people's hair.
About time.
Yeah, check this out.
The Crown Act stands for Create a Respectful and Open World for Natural Hair. Some Texans,
this is good.
especially people of color, have faced discrimination based upon hairstyle or hair texture. This law ends that discrimination.
It's about time.
The Crown Act
Finally.
prohibits discrimination in housing, education,
This is
and
embarrassing.
employment based upon hair texture and styles that are historically
Don't bump the
associated with
camera.
race. Texas joins 21 other states in passing a Crown Act.
Oh, good. We're like everyone else
I want
now.
to thank Representative Retta Bowers and Senator Boris Miles on getting this law to my desk.
Okay, now.
Thank you so much.
As bad as that was.
That's why everybody with him,
one,
is black.
Two.
Right? Every single person.
Okay, three.
So this is a...
Oh, it absolutely is. This is worth it. Four.
Oh, man.
How many Sharpies we're going to use here?
Are we going to use everybody in the room? The Sharpie of everybody in the room.
6.
Okay.
I mean, how is it a signature at this point?
This is asinine.
7.
Come on.
We got a little curve in there. 8. Wait. Okay.
Asinine. I mean, really? Is this what we can expect from Greg Abbott now, too?
Oh, yeah. He's great. He's so good. I'm so glad we reelected him. Shit. Look at that. Look at all those souvenirs.
The Crown Act is now law in the state of Texas.
Woo! Yes! And how's our border, bro?
Finally! Finally!
Woo!
If we had a nickel for every time we've talked about the Crown Act.
Yeah. Well, and then it's important,
creating receptive optics for white.
Hell, I don't know,
not
man.
white.
I wasn't prepared for this question. What did he call it? He said,
I don't know. It's the asinine act. Come on.
It create a respectful and open world for natural hair.
Open world.
So I did a little
for
research on this
natural hair
during the break.
So dreadlocks are natural. That just happens.
So
dreadlock is just a natural thing that occurs when the humidity gets to a certain level in Texas.
This started. This started in Houston at a school because they had a dress code. And there was these two black guys that their hairstyle violated the code, which was like the length of the hair or something. Okay. Like it's supposed to, not come down past your shoulders or something.
Long-haired hippie freaks in their classroom.
There it is. So
we've all been through it.
So I read the text of the bill, which I've now inadvertently. No, there it is. So it's not a long bill. It's probably 2 or 3 pages, and it's all about race. It's not even about the original issue in Houston, which was the length of the hair. So, if I'm reading this correctly, and I've tried to confirm this and I can't.
Heaven help us.
If I'm reading this correctly, it's not the length thing, right? Like the school issue. So the white kids could still be kicked out for having hair below their shoulders. But if they're dreadlocks and it all goes to race, then it's fine. I mean, that's a racist bill. That's not equal treatment under the law at all. This is insidious. Greg Abbott.
Now what a move. What a move that was for him, huh?
And plus,
what a move.
If you run a 5-star hotel and all of a sudden your front desk guy decides, you know what? I'm gonna
go dreads.
Yeah, going dreads.
I'm going dreads all day. And
Cornrows.
I'm not gonna wash my hair for 3 years. And it's going to be fabulous. It's going to be fabulous. And you're dealing with the public. You can't do anything about that.
It protects braids.
You can't do anything about it.
And twists.
Braids, locks, and twists.
I don't see length on here anywhere.
Wow.
But you're trying to portray an image, and you've got a guy at the front desk who's like, I'm going cornrows. Well, I mean, I thought this was a right to work. I thought that you could fire at will, terminate your employees at will for whatever reason.
Nope. But if you got a long-haired hippie freak there who's white, and he just got straight hair and just grows it really long, he can get the hell out of here. Get out of here. We don't need none of that. I'll tell you that right now. I can't. I mean, really, Greg?
And you should be able to fire the long-haired hippie freak for looking like a long-haired hippie freak.
If somebody's not conducive to meeting the public, you should be able to have some standards in your business. I'm sorry, when people are dealing with the public, they have to present themselves in a certain way, right? You expect them to take a bath, take a shower,
that's not in
wear
here.
Clean clothes. Do you want somebody with, like, if they have gravy stains all over themselves every day, is that okay? You have to keep them for that? No, because you've got certain standards of people who meet the public. Unreal.
Yeah, but here's a section in the bill. Any student dress or grooming policy adopted by a school district, including a student dress or grooming policy for any extracurricular activity, may not discriminate against a hair texture or protective hairstyle commonly or historically associated with race.
With race?
With race.
So is long hair associated with white people?
I mean, there's nowhere in here about the length of hair.
No.
It's all about
texture.
Braids, locks, and twists.
It's about texture. Oh, my gosh. That is unbelievable. What a weird thing for him to do. Jeez, did he cave to special interests or what? Who got a hold of him and said, hey, you know what's going on?
He's gross.
Man.
We had our chance. It's called a primary. We blew it. Texas isn't a red state anymore. Let's be honest. We are a reddish purple. But that won't last either. Cheers.
Also, a cop in Orlando was recently pulled over by another cop for going 80 miles an hour in a 45.
I hear that's wrong.
Really?
I've been told that's wrong.
Why didn't I know about this?
You haven't known about this.
Why wasn't I told
Time
that there's something called a speed limit?
Time out.
Weird.
Let's address something real quick. Yesterday morning, right out here. I'm on the road that leads to the studio. And I just happened to glance up in my rearview mirror, and I saw a car turning onto the road behind me, way back there. And I thought, it just crossed my mind that, I'll be up to the studio before whoever that is back there catches up to me. The thought just happened to cross my mind. I get ready to turn into the studio, and that vehicle is right behind me. And I'm like, what in the world?
Going the speed limit every moment of every second.
Who was the driver of that vehicle right behind me yesterday morning?
I don't know. I don't know who it is you're talking about, but I'm sure they were going the speed limit.
I'm sure they were.
And you were probably just going under the speed limit, and so they were able to catch you.
I never go under the speed limit is the thing, so I don't think so.
But here's what happened to cop on cop. 80 and a 45.
Pull over. You going to pull over?
Please say a command.
Pull over.
Ooh, blocking in.
What? I am going into work, my man. Why are you trying to pull me over as I'm going into work?
Because you're going 80 and a 45.
I am going into work.
Okay, where are you going to work?
What does it look like I am dressed for?
What
does it look like I am dressed for?
Wow. My name is Deputy Hilton, and I see your driver's license.
No.
Okay.
I'm leaving.
3113, copy at 1050. 10-4, I got a city Orlando PD taking off from a traffic stop.
Oh, you like that one?
Wow.
Uh-huh.
So the guy thought he was entitled to go 80 and a 45, right? Because he's a cop?
Yeah. No emergency. Nothing.
He's on his way to work.
He's not on duty.
What does it look like he's dressed for?
Yeah, my man. Oh, condescend me more.
So... do we know what happened to him?
Oh, yeah. Here's the rest of the story.
Okay, he's facing charges after speeding, driving recklessly, and fleeing another officer that pulled him over.
Good.
Orlando officer Alexander Shawnee was driving 80 and a 45 in his police patrol car June 6th without any emergency lights or sirens activated. Then a Seminole County Sheriff's deputy spotted him speeding. And pulled him over. But at first, he kept driving. Didn't stop. The deputy had to drive faster than 90 to catch up to him. Wow. But he eventually stopped and pulled over. And then, of course, as you saw, he was indignant about it. What are you doing? Well, I'm pulling you over for going 80 and a 45. Just a tad excessive. So, Shawnee was charged with speeding, reckless driving, fleeing a law enforcement officer, and resisting arrest. Uh-oh.
Yeah, don't be leaving the scene, bro.
He was relieved of duty, pending the Seminole County Sheriff's criminal investigation and Orlando Police Department's internal affairs investigation.
What do you think's going to happen to him?
He's probably going to be fired.
You think so?
I do. I do.
Yeah, I mean, that's not... Take this speeding thing out of it. A guy with that kind of attitude, you don't want walking around with a badge and a gun.
Yeah, because he's got a sense of entitlement, obviously. He thinks he's above the law.
I'm going to work, my man. What does it look like I'm doing? All right, show some respect. Like, we're expected to show respect to you.
I think there's a little bit of a brotherhood agreement there that they don't pull each other over, right? Yep.
I think that's the loudest Chris has ever been on the mic. Yep.
But when it's 80 and a 45, when you're going nearly double the speed limit, I'm sure that's a little excessive, and you've exceeded the mandate of, we cut each other some slack.
Okay, so what's the speed that you're comfortable with going over? I mean, if you were to ever speed, where do you set the cruise control?
Well, now I'll go 9 miles an hour.
Wait a minute. Now it's 9?
Now it's 9.
What did it used to be before you got pulled over 8 times in a week?
15, 20-ish. In there somewhere.
You weren't going 9 over out here on the road in front of the building. Bull crap!
54.
I was going 9 miles over, and you
54 at a 45. That's
caught up to me. This is not accurate math.
And I'm always very careful down this stretch because there's a police station right there on that street. So 9 miles over.
Who is talking right now?
If you go 9, you're fine. If it's 10, you're mine or something. Isn't that the theory? I think that's a theory.
Something that has stuck with me since before I was driving. There was a local news report in Atlanta on local TV, and it just always stuck with me. the cop would say, he said that, if I see you in the passing lane, and you're just staying in the passing lane, basically you're mine. I mean, that's what draws my attention. Someone hanging out in the passing lane.
Okay.
And then I go, okay, let's check that speed. Yep, I got this guy.
That's probably true. That's probably true.
So stay to the right and then the pedal to the metal and you're good.
Yep. The far right lane is where you need to go 20, 30 miles an hour over. I mean, the speed limit exactly. That's what I mean.
This is Pat Gray.